I'm Brenda Mercer, and welcome to my article talk. Today we're going to be talking about No Zombies Allowed, written by Greg Mitchie. So I'm going to discuss four direct quotes from the article. I'm going to discuss a couple of ways that I personally have connected with the article, and also a couple of questions at the end. So let's get started with the first quote. Number one of the things I have enjoyed most about teaching media specialties studies in the freedom it provides. Anything that relates even tangibly to the mass media or communications is a potential topic of study. Since I have no textbooks or state guidelines for the class, I am not bound to present a certain amount of material or even cover a particular area of content. If a sudden current event begins, I pull my students in an unexpected direction. The course gives me the flexibility to flow with it. I find that perspective very engaging. However, the reality to most teachers is that we do have state, federal, and local guidelines, curriculum, Common Core standards that we must find and must teach in certain content areas. So the freedom that he has in the classroom, the students must be highly involved, highly engaged. They must love the freedom of where it could take them. And they also have some ownership in the direction that the classes flow. And they have some buy-in as well on the topics that are discussed. I love how it was cool how also in this article that the teacher had connected with the students even through music. And now especially very powerful how the one student wrote 17 handwritten 17 copies for his the lyrics for his fellow classmates. Now that's some dedication to a class for the fellow classmates and to the teacher for sure. All right, point number two is, or quote number two, I should say, to succeed in this class, you have to think. I told the kids after my opening monologue had finally reached its end, no zombies allowed. Pretending to be like the Night of the Living Dead. We discussed how both teachers and students can become zombified in school. But I knew I couldn't fight students' disengagement by creating slogans that forbid it. And I couldn't make students think simply by telling them it was required. I had to find a way to engage them. I had to find things for them to do. Things that were relevant. Things that would interest them. Things that could be accomplished without one element that is foreign to school and classrooms. Real, live, unadulterated thinking. What a challenge for all the thinking for those 7th and 8th graders. I love how the different genres was taught and the purposes that he used to go with them, and how realistic the class was, that it was all about the money and it was entertainment. The teacher also challenged them to see what was underneath some of the genres, like the tabloid talk shows, cartoons, the sitcoms, and I loved especially how they connected it all with a field trip. That was awesome. All right, point number three. Point number three, the quote is, gradually it became clear to the kids and the lifestyle and cultural norms depicted in many sitcoms reflected only a narrow slice of America. They found little in the program that truly looked like their own experience. While a number of them enjoyed watching the shows, there were a few who thought they were realistic. I watch them, but sometimes it gets to me, Yasmin explained one day in class. Everybody's so happy and everything gets resolved in a half an hour. They solve everything with a little hug. In real life, that rarely happens. I just love how real, I guess, this class got, and how they were able to analyze the different items on TV. It's a truly life lesson to teach that course, courses about the genres and about being able to discriminate, being descriptive and break down all of the different types of media forms that they encountered. And also just to look at the underlying themes that were presented in each of the media. very powerful life lessons. Number 4. Here we go. Last quote. Putting the video equipment in their hands gives them a voice, a way to see themselves and tell their stories. Learning to view TV and other media more critically helps combat feelings of powerlessness and marginalization. It provokes them to use their brains to think. Wow, think. That is the goal all along, right? Was for the students to think in their classroom. No zombies allowed. Remember, that was from the first quote. It's an awesome example taught that many life lessons to have such an unbiased analysis, and that most forms of media have a purpose of making money at all costs, no matter what they must sell to get the product profits. Now, as a teacher, just a personal connection, we must capture as many teachable moments and have no regrets. The teacher did have a regret. He expressed how he had not had a chance to miss that teachable moment with one of his students who was trying to present, a video that wasn't, or song that wasn't quite appropriate. So, he did have a regret. But, I do have a regret as a teacher in a classroom. One time there was a student and in a bad situation, and it was not, obviously his fault. His mom was incarcerated for actually shooting and killing his father. Another family member had custody of him, and she had her plate full before this child came, and I just fell in love with him, quite honestly, and just tried to encourage him, being a positive example. And honestly, I brought that home, considered, asked my husband, please let us adopt him. And my husband's like, and this, the little boy was a different color. His skin was different. I didn't notice, and my heart said it was the same. But, there were obviously some concerns that in the system that, that would have been difficult to be able to, adopt or at least foster care him. And unfortunately, before I could move forward, or we could at least discuss it, the student moved out of the district, and I lost contact with him. Now that is a deep regret, because my heart really thought that I could make a difference in this kid's life, and I still think about him every day and pray for him. But that would be as a teacher, I think we need to, capitalize on every teachable moment, not maybe something as, life-changing as that possibly could have been, but, every day we know we miss those teachable moments. Also, another relatable experience is with Mr. Mitchie is that just recently I had my 3rd and 4th graders in the makerspace area in the media center, and I was just blown away with their collaboration and how they work together, and with their building and creating and designing. It was awesome to see their ingenuity while they were working together. And I also noticed in that short 45 minutes that students were more open to share their ideas, to work that collaborative, and the outcome was unbelievable. They were responsible for even cleanup. I didn't even have to remind them. It was awesome. So I also do have a couple of questions. Number 1 was, how can we as teachers rise up to the occasion to have no regrets, or how not to have those missing opportunities? I know it's hard during the school day, being in the school with all the other responsibilities, to connect with students. And I think we have to challenge ourselves and realize that we don't always make those teachable moments with individual students, and most of the time those are the ones who are needing it the most. Also, the last question is, how do we keep students engaged, not like zombies, with the forced curriculum and standards? I want to make a difference, as I'm sure you want to make a difference in the classroom, and the bottom line is we've got to keep them engaged, got to find the technology, the interest level. We have to put all we have into it to deliver these lessons, so students are engaged. And you know what? The truth of the matter is, when you're just doing a direct instruction, it's very difficult to compete against Pokemon Go. So rise up to the occasion, teachers. We can do this.